I wanted to give my steering a little more reliability, so I put a bigger pulley on this up here. Should provide less slippage. And I also scratched this up. I wasn't having any particular problems before, but I could pull on this if I was holding this with my other hand and get the string to slip. But now it's pretty stuck there. And I scratched up this too, and I scratched up the pipe back there where the strings wrap around to go to the back. And this basically gears down my steering, so I'll have to turn more revolutions on my steering wheel to get the same amount of turn on my motor back here. But I won't have any slippage, so it'll sort of even out, and really I want more reliable steering rather than faster steering. And I almost never need to steer fast in a boat. I'm always going straight. I'm about as happy as I can be with that steering pre-test drive. And I almost have my anchor ready to go. I just want to put a couple more layers of fiberglass on it. Because, you know, you might have a lot of stress on it at some point. Then I just need to make the motor spin around. Do some kind of fancy switches. I have some ideas for that. Alright, I'm going to need one of these. Okay, here's my test motor. Now I need to figure out how to get electricity into this, but I don't want the electricity to go into it full power all the time because I don't always want to go full speed, and it's bad for the motor to just click it right into full power. Okay, there are fancy modern electronical solutions to this problem, but those stupid things always break. I am not digging that. So I want to make something more caveman style. I don't need like 8,000 different speeds. I just need like low, medium, high. And I think what I'm going to do for the slow speed control during the daytime is what I did on one of my previous boats, which is to just have a couple different switches. One switch will connect 2 solar panels to the motor, so it'll make it go slow. The next switch will connect another 2 solar panels to the motor and make it go a little faster. And then, you know, I can have a few of those switches, and then full power would be the batteries. Or I can have a full power, just solar panels, and a full power batteries. I actually kind of want to have two different systems. One for like daytime when I have good sun, and one for nighttime. So, and when it's cloudy, I'll just kind of have to use something in the middle. But anyway, yeah, I want to be able to control the number of solar panels connected to the boat, and that'll be plenty of different speeds. But then at nighttime, I can't control the speed with the solar panels because they're doing nothing. All I have is the battery power source. So I need to figure out some way to control the speed from the batteries directly to the motor. And I'm thinking I can run it through one of these, which is basically a giant resistor. It's, you know, it's a stovetop burner thing. And, you know, I might need a few of these. I don't know. I'm just going to test one and see how it goes. I actually calculated the resistance, but of course none of my calculations mean anything until I test it in real life, so I'm just going to plug the stupid thing in and see how fast the motor goes on one of those. Oh, also, I happened to make a trip to town yesterday. Ignore this saw, it has nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about. And I called the junk man before I went, a couple days before, so I knew he'd be in town. And I went and bought, like, I don't know, like 30 pounds of wires, and got an amazingly awesome deal, which was pretty sweet. It was like $45 for all this wire. I did a quick calculation, like one of these wires new in the store would have cost $25. And there's like, I don't know, 20 different wires in here. Anyway, I'm very excited about that. Oh, I also got some stainless steel cable and some aluminum thingies. And I just got a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, but right now, the important thing is wires. And I did get some 2-gauge wire, which is huge. That'll be plenty to go to the motor. Alright, let's see if this goes at all. Not even enough juice to move the motor. Alright. And I can feel it's getting warm, so there's definitely electricity going through it. Maybe I could cut the coil part way to cut the resistance down. Let me try that. What is this material? It looks like it's got like a little wire going inside this possibly stainless steel tube? I don't know. I'm just going to cut it and see how it goes. Holy cow, that stuff's tough! Alright, let me get my grippers on there a little better. I'm going to get one coil. Well, it appears the inside of this is mostly ceramic with two little metal coils going through. I'm not sure if this is going to let me do what I want to do. Let me check though. Alright, if I take both coils that I cut and attach them in parallel, I do get just enough power to move the motor slowly. Alright. That's mildly promising. I also have another kind of one of these. I want to check what that one is like. Alright, it looks like this is just the same thing. Alright, it looks like my calculations were about right. And they said I would need like 10 of these to really, work well as speed control. Which seems like a pretty viable solution, because those are like $5 or $10 a piece. So I can, easily afford them. And they should last a long time. And if one breaks, the whole system doesn't go down. It's just whatever speed that one is connected to will be slightly slower than it was before. And hopefully I'll notice that and then say, oh, one must have broken, then I can check them and replace it. The other idea is I could find, next time I go to the store, I'm just going to have to look around and see what else has low resistance, like 1 or 2 ohms, and can handle 24 volts DC easily. But I do think these are a good option. They get hot, but I just put them up somewhere where they're in the wind and they won't get too hot. And yes, they waste some electricity. Whereas, if I got some fancy speed controller, it would waste less electricity, because they're like 85% efficient or something last I read. I guess it depends on the specific controller. And these would waste more than, 15% of the electricity. But the thing is, I would only want to go slow like 2% of the time. Almost never. I almost never want to go slow. Like, I want to go slow to park the boat. And yeah, that's about it. The rest of the time, I just want to go full speed. And in the speed controllers I've seen, this may not be the case with all of them, but that 15% loss of efficiency happens all the time, regardless of your speed. Even when you turn it up all the way, it still doesn't just direct connect the motor. But if I do it the way I want, with just a bunch of resistors, super low tech style, when it's in full speed, the motor will just be connected directly to the batteries with short, fat wires, and that's like the most efficient thing I can do. So yeah, I would lose a bit of efficiency, almost never, and then most of the time I would gain a lot by not using the fancy electronics. Plus, the fancy electronics break, and you can't fix them. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna think about this. Regardless of what I come up with, I need to design a good switch that'll do all the different connections. I'm not going to buy a switch. I'm just going to make like a big fat copper pipe switch that won't break.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Do you even see what it's doing?
You mean in the back? Oh, these little round things are cool. I forget what they're called.
So is that the most magnificent boat driving experience ever, or what?
That's pretty cool. Phillips motor and everything.
Oh, this is my steering wheel.
It's your steering wheel?
Yes.